Hey everyone, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez. I'm coming at you today with a Veve OMI update video. Guys, if you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. I love you all. Everyone say, where's Dashy? Where's Dashy? So, Dashy's just protecting the home right now. Um, there's been a lot of FUD recently, and some of it justified, and some of it is just a little bit of a knee-jerk reaction to what's going on in the world. I've said many times before, when in doubt, zoom out. Take a look at what has happened in the world over the past 40, 50 years. And many people that are younger might not recognize the fact that time's arrow neither stays still or reverses. It merely marches forward. And what that means is that time goes on. The world doesn't need any one person, any one company, or any one thing. It will move on without you, without a company, without any world leader, president, politician, what have you. And that is good because the world does not hinge, the universe does not hit, the earth could explode and the universe will go on. So, what I mean by that is that even though what's happening between Russia and Ukraine is a tragedy, that there is the silver lining of that is that markets will go on. Yes, there's some short term FUD and there's some short term, a lot of people that are scared, that are selling off, that maybe people are new to the market these last few years that haven't experienced a giant, crash they had in like the 80s, in 2001 and 2008 and 2020. Maybe they just didn't have that. So this is just from a whale's perspective, a kind of like sperm of the sperm whale here. I don't have hundreds of millions of dollars, but at one point I did have well over $1 million. I have over 130 million OMI, and OMI was above 0.008 at one time. So I'm just letting you know that in the grand scheme of things, I've had well over $1 million, and I've lost several $100,000, at least on paper. And I'm not freaking out. Some people that I know that have much more OMI than me, much more Veve NFTs than I do, they're not freaking out. If anything, they're buying more. And if you take a look at most recently our favorite bread cat, Brock McBlockchain, what he had said in an interview, to take a look at the people that are about to cash out because of MTL and look at the types of people that are doing that. And then look at the types of people that are going and they are and they are not doing that. They're doing the exact opposite of that. People like me, people like Blockchain, which again has a lot more OMI than I do, and has a lot more money, is more older, smarter, more experienced. A lot like saying Crypto Rain, Taps Trades, just anyone that again older, smarter, more successful than I am, at least in the real world. They are people that they're not freaking out. They're not doing anything crazy. Like what happens when, whether it's dogs, whether it's like kids, what happens in times of crisis? They look to those that whose instincts they might trust more than their own. Dog will look to their owner, kid will look to their parents or another, authority figure, see like how they're reacting. When you see the plane going like this, going really crazy, you take a look at the airline stewardesses that are going up and down handing drinks and snacks. If they're just chill, there's like, hey, here's your coffee, here's your soda, here's your peanuts, and they're chill, you don't freak out. But if they're going like, if they're freaking out, if they give you that sponge guard, then then it's like, okay, now might be the time to panic. Not that it's ever a good time to panic, but even if worst case scenario, well, I guess worst case scenario, we're all doomed. and, but most likely scenario, this Russian conflict with Ukraine goes on most likely another month or two, and things return to normal afterwards. I'm just making this the fact that most likely things are going to be okay. Things are going to be fine. It's like what happened when Star Wars: The Force Awakens came out, and people are like, "What is this?" And people are like, "Okay, we're making a new Star Wars movie. It's very similar to the old one. We have to make things similar to let people know that the series is going to be all right." Before they had Book of Boba Fett, before they had The Mandalorian and all that. There will be some short-term pain. There's already been a lot of short-term turmoil where NFTs have gone down 60 and 70%. OMI coin was at 0.0084 and it went down to 0.003. Again, another 60, 70%. Well, what happened with that? Well, we had rebounded from there. Will we go even lower? Well, it depends on what Russia and Ukraine do. Can Bitcoin go down to 28, 25,000? Sure, maybe. And could it go even lower? I guess anything's possible. But most likely this is just a short-term turmoil. And again, what are people with money doing? They're accumulating. They're slowly but surely dollar cost averaging. I'm going to read a tweet from Jeremy Padower saying, here's a list of things that he's done and doing in terms of stocks, real estate, crypto, and physical collectibles investments during this extremely uncertain, turbulent, and scary time. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And this comes after the fact that it's not like he lives in like La La Land. No, he tweeted about 24 minutes before that tweet that the Russia stock market index, the MOEX, was down as much as 50% at some point the day before, which if you compare it to October 29th in 1929, known as Black Tuesday, the market which marked the start of the U.S. Great Depression, the New York Stock Exchange had a 2-day loss of 23%. Obviously, what happened with Russia was more than double of that loss. So to put it in historical context, the impact to Russia's market is extreme, yet he was still doing nothing in terms of his investments. He wasn't selling, he wasn't panicking, he remained perfectly calm. In the same way that when people in South Africa, where they go and they make the call to the dolphins, and the call to the dolphins is that they go and they make the call and dolphins drive into schools of fish. And what happens with that? Well, as the fishermen go and launch their nets and they catch the fish, but they also catch the dolphins, and the dolphins don't freak out, they don't go crazy, they just let the fishermen draw the fishing nets ashore because the dolphins know that they're going to be let out. They know that things are going to be okay. And for people that have been in the market for several years, that have been alive and have been through this multiple times, they know everything's going to be okay, which I think it will as well. So you go and you take a look at another one of Jeremy Padower's tweets saying that investments do have ups and downs. Patience can yield big returns. For example, $10,000 invested in Apple stock in 1982 was worth $10,000. In 1992, it increased to about $50,000. So the same way a lot of people bought in last year in August, October, September, whatever, they had seen a large increase by January. Well, in 2002, 10 years after 1992, people had lost 40% of their money, went from 50,000 to 30,000. It's a lot what we're experiencing right now, because that's what happened in the dot-com bubble. But in 2012, just X amount of years later, it had increased about 8.25x to $2.5 million. Excuse me. And what happened 10 years later? It was worth another 8.5x at $20.8 million. $20.8 million. So what I do want to say for everyone here, from a whale's perspective, be like Dory. Just keep swimming, just keep working, doing everything that you can. And this is not financial advice, this is not a financial advisor, or I'm not a financial advisor. Although technically I am. I was to some clients when I had my first business. What I would tell them, and again, let's say my friend Matt, who I had gotten to know over the last 4 years, of being able to lend him money, being able what he could do with his money. And I did tell him to invest in Bitcoin. I told him to invest in OMI and these NFTs. And he has called me and said, hey, what do I do? Things are crashing. HODL. Buy more. Keep working. Keep doing your things and buy more until more exchanges come. When are they going to come? I don't know. It could be a few weeks from now in March. It could be several months from now. It could be April, May, June, July. It could be July. I don't know. But what I do know is that the longer we stay down here, the more OMI that we burn from that reserve wallet and eventually from that circulating supply. I do expect us to get exchanges before we get to that circulating supply burn. And when will that happen? Like I said, I don't know. I would say probably April, give or take, mid to late April. But if you can afford to keep working and not touch your investments, that's probably a very good thing to do. For example, me, I'm working as hard as I can on YouTube. I'm looking to do some extracurricular activities to make some money to pay some taxes so that I don't have to sell my NFTs, so that I don't have to sell my OMI. Will I have to at some point? Maybe. I don't know. Like I said, the downside of going all in is that if you ever do need some money, such as tax season, is that you have to be able to go and sell some of what you have. The upside is that when we do get on exchanges, which we will, you know, take a look at the team. The thesis hasn't changed with this company. The company is as strong, if not stronger than ever. I would much rather put in money this year into this company than I would last year. Well, why? This time last year, we didn't have Marvel, or at least it wasn't announced to us. We didn't have Disney. Again, it wasn't announced to us. We didn't have a lot of these companies like MGM, like LOA, like the French Prince, whatever that was. We didn't have a bunch of these companies, and we didn't have the number of monthly active users, which is about 2.3 million monthly active users, and we didn't have this cash flow. Last year, I'm pretty sure at this time we were still operating at a deficit because of all the amount of money that they had to pay to licensors, maybe some money that they had to pay to other people and other things and other obligations. But now I'm almost positive we are very, very cash positive. We are very flush, and other companies that have to do certain types of marketing that we don't have to do. Like, why is Tesla one of the biggest companies in EVs and electric vehicles? Because unlike Ford and GM and Chrysler and Daimler, they don't have to market. All the other companies spend billions of dollars each year marketing. Tesla doesn't. All the other NFT companies and gaming companies or gaming NFT companies, they do marketing. These guys don't. NFT company that doesn't have to do it. Why? Because they sell everything that they make. I would much rather be in a position this year and putting money in right now as opposed to last year. Again, why? Because we have so much more things available. Again, Disney doesn't give its IP out, at least the Walt Disney statue out, all willy-nilly. They wouldn't. They wouldn't be the company that they are if they were, played loose and fast with that. So what I'm trying to say is that I'm more bullish now than ever. It's like when you, I might get in trouble for this, but it's like when you're young and you go to ask out a girl and she says no. And then you go and ask out another one. They say no. And a lot of guys would get very, like dispirited. They're like, oh man, they get frustrated. But I say like, yeah, I get more excited because the more no's I get, the closer I am to a yes. The more that they delay, the closer that we are to a yes. And by the way, when we go and we burn this much OMI, I was expecting exchanges last year. I was also expecting exchanges in February, which is why last year I thought that in the 2030s we would get a $10 OMI. And when I said we were going to get exchanges in April, I thought maybe 2030, based on the progression of things, based on the burn. Because again, the VVverse isn't out yet. We don't have certain companies like gotta catch them. I'm not even gonna say it. I'm not gonna mention the P word, but there's certain companies that we don't have yet that haven't been announced. I'm pretty sure that we have. Again, tomorrow or today's drop, depending on when you're watching it, Matt Gondek. Okay, well he's partnered with Veve and OMI, but he's also partnered with Coinbase and Coinbase NFT. What other person have we had that's partnered with that? Is it Mumbot? Is it Art Patron or Art Saint, the person on Instagram that's partnered with Rewind Collective? Yeah, we have a bunch of connections that lead us to Coinbase NFT, at least Coinbase NFT, if not Coinbase in general. So yeah, if I just met another lawyer tonight, who I happen to talk to about blockchain, about NFTs, and I don't know if you remember that scene in The Big Short where Steve Carell is talking to this Asian dude, and he's like, wait, hold on a minute. You're telling me that, going X, Y, and Z, talking about CDOs, talking about bets on bets on bets. And he was so confused, and he's like, no, there's no way that this is real. In that same breath, I was telling a lawyer today about blockchain and about NFTs and about what partnerships that Veve has. And I swear to you, it was a exact mirror of what was going on in the Big Short. He was saying, wait, you're telling me that anyone can make an NFT, which I was explaining, I could make an NFT of this phone, of this chair, of this plant, of that rat back there. And he's like, and people will pay money for it. I was like, yes. And he's like, that's so stupid. And I said, yes, I agree that anyone can make an NFT of anything, and it's bad for the environment. It's stupid. There's no utility. But then I said, what if I were to tell you that big major companies such as Cartoon Network and Time Warner and Marvel and Disney were into this? And he would say, like, okay, I believe that, they would want to make some money. I was like, yes. What if they were all under one banner, under one supranational organization that hosted all of their NFTs in one marketplace? And he'd be like, I would have to be able to put every single piece of money that I have into everything that company touched. I was like, what if I told you that you can invest in that crypto that is under 1/2 of 1 penny per token? We got a new buyer. We got more whales. We got more people. And he wasn't just like a lawyer fresh out of law school that has a bunch of $100,000 worth of debt. No, he was in his 40s. He had some money. I was going to tell his lawyer friends. So a lot of what whales are doing, they don't care what has happened in the past couple of months. They don't care that, like Tesla, a $1 trillion company that we were supposed to have the Cybertruck in 2021, we're not going to get it until 2023. They don't care that we have had some timelines where we're supposed to meet here, but they were delayed, because that happens. Older people that have money, that have experience in this type of thing, that have lived a little bit. What did Loki say to Captain America or to that older person? Like, take a lesson from your elders, people. Take a lesson from people that have been in a while. They know what to do. They know what not to do. They know to put money in when people are panicking. And is the panic over yet? I don't know. This whole situation with the markets and crypto could get a lot worse before it gets better. A lot of people can still say, like, oh, the stock market is going down, so crypto should go down too. Let me go in. That could happen for a long time. But what I do know is that Disney is not associated with any other crypto or any other NFT project. In fact, they've given out a ton of cease and desist letters to people on OpenSea saying, like, oh, well, here's Mickey Mouse, here's this, and X and Y and Z, and all that. So this just happens to be something that I'm very confident in. I'm not tripping. I'm relaxed. So everyone, please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. I love you all, and everyone say, where's Dashi? All right, I'll talk to you all later. Goodbye. Meow, meow, meow.